Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rosemary and I'm your Afropean girl next door. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. This week, I'd like to share with you books that have changed my life. And if you know me, or you've been maybe following me for a while on my social media channels, you would know that I love to read. And I haven't been spending as much time reading as I would like. Hashtag when struggles of motherhood, but I just love reading, and whenever I have a chance I like to pick up a new book or even delve back into an old book. So today I wanted to share with you three books that have changed my life, and I think that you should definitely give it a try as well. So there are lots of books that I'd like to share with you, but today I'd like to share these three. And the first one I'd like to share is actually I don't have it right now because the thing is I also give books to friends and then some people forget to give it back. But anyway, I will show you this one because it's by the same author. So this is High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. And if you don't know Brendon Burchard, this is him, the man. And the first book I wanted to talk about is also written by him. High Performance is written by Brendon Burchard, which is called The Motivation Manifesto. And that's actually the first book I read by Brendon. So keep this one in mind, but I will, delve a little bit deeper into the motivation manifesto. And I have my notes here. If you've watched my previous videos, I told you about pregnancy brain, and that's real. So I always keep my notes here so that I don't forget to share anything with you. So why do I love the motivation manifesto so much? And first of all, let me tell you the story about how I got that. As I said, I'm super passionate about reading, and I love books, and I've been reading books since I was a young girl. And in 2013, I moved to Ghana, right? And one of the things that I could not leave behind were my books. And as crazy as people think I am, I packed in my suitcase, I had loads of books, and books are very heavy. And I also shipped a container to Ghana, like just brought some stuff with me, boxes and things in a container, my furniture and stuff. And I took boxes and boxes full of books. And when I got to Ghana, I also kept buying books. Now that I live back in Belgium, there are lots of books that did not come with me because when we're moving back, it was supposed to be temporarily, and then we ended up staying a bit longer. But books, as I said, are heavy. And so when I was moving, I had seen this book pop up on social media, or no, on YouTube probably, about Brendon Burchard's book called The Motivation Manifesto. And I was like, yeah, okay, it seems interesting. Let me just get it. But for some reason, when the book came, it looks like a Bible. So if you've seen most Bibles, they're black and it's written in gold. And I was like, okay, I have a Bible. Like, I don't need to read another Bible, okay? And for some reason, I let that book in Belgium for years. I think for the first year or so, because I moved to Ghana, I didn't take it with me and I just left it here. And then when I came back on holiday, I think one time I picked it up and started reading it, and I was like blown away of what I found in the book. And I was like, why didn't I pick up this book earlier? So what is so magical about this book, and I couldn't put it down, I think I must have read it in 3 days, is that it's nothing new what he talks about. So if you don't know Brendon is an expert who talks about personal development, personal growth. He's a motivational speaker, and his book, The Motivation Manifesto, really is about how you can get yourself motivated and use your motivation to motivate others to also achieve their goals. And that's like my passion. And at that time I was reading the book, I did not know that was my passion. But basically that's all I had been doing my whole life. Is everyone that knows me knows that don't tell Rose about any ideas you plan on doing, because she's gonna actually I'm gonna actually push you to do those things. I'm a natural cheerleader, and I just get excited when people are excited and passionate about something else. I just want to help them, either actively or passively or whatever. And so when I picked up the book and I started reading about the importance of motivation and the importance of you know letting go of your fears and the stories that we tell ourselves, I just thought, wow, I need to learn more about this guy. And I started giving this book out to everyone and recommending it to everyone. And everyone who's actually read the book is blown away. So that's the first thing I'll say about the Motivation Manifesto. That was my introduction to Brendon, which led me about 2 or 3 years later to this next book, which I showed you in the beginning, High Performance Habit. And Brendon is a coach. And what he did is he did a research on what makes high performers, so athletics or business people, entrepreneurs, whatever, people who really are performing very well in their lives. What is the difference between, them doing just this once and having success, and how do they consistently stay successful and happy and whatever? And so he interviewed people from, all over the world, around 190 places apparently, and there's a whole quiz that you can take also online, which I will be sharing the link with you here below. You will be you subscribe to be able to take the test, and then you will get information. So just so you know, I've warned you, but it's so valuable what you're going to get from him that you're going to thank me for it later. And so once you do the test, it will tell you on a high performance scale that he has, where do you stand in various ways in your life. So the way he assesses it is by the bullet points, let's say in this book, is focused on how you can find clarity. And because clarity is what is going to guide you in life, how you can generate energy. And the first time I heard about this concept of energy, something that is generated, was from Brendon. And that's, stuck forever, because every time I feel low in energy and I feel tired, I remember that sometimes you're not tired because you need extra sleep, but you're tired because you haven't been generating any energy. So you need to work out. You need to do something that pumps your blood up, something that motivates you. And that's really helped me a lot in moments where I feel low in energy and, I just go through a dip. Raise necessity. Like, there needs to be a sense of urgency to what you do. Like, I need to do this because it's going to be good for this and that. Increase productivity, develop influence, demonstrate courage. So those are the points. And the reason why he analyzed these points is that he found out that people who are long-term high performers have these things in check. All these things are working very well for them. And it's really an amazing book. I think as I'm going through the book, I may have marked different things. It's just amazing. So if you're ever looking for a book that is just more than a book, but something that can give you, straight to the point things to actually practice, and things, a book that you can go back to over and over again to assess how well you're doing, I would definitely recommend this book, High Performance Habit by Brendon Burchard. And I would recommend any book by Brendon Burchard. I don't have a lot of authors that I have multiple books from, but Brendon is one of them, and actually went on later to take one of his coaching programs. I'm an avid fan. I took one of his coaching programs, and later when I joined other, I did other coaching programs, I found out that they were also being coached by Brendon, obviously to another level, but he's one of the good ones out there. And so I really, really, really love what he does, and I recommend you check it out. Another book that I want to share with you is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Oh my God. I don't remember the last time or the first time I read this book, actually. But again, this is the type of book that I think I've marked through it. Like, you can't see probably, but I have, like, my pen is all over this place, and I used to have sticky notes all over. And I just love I think I must have read this book at least 3 times already. And the only book that I've read more than this one is by Pregnancy Brain, come on, don't leave me hanging. Paulo Coelho. Come on, what's the name I'm looking for the book? Okay, it will come back. But this book is absolutely amazing. Eckhart Tolle is absolutely amazing. A New Earth talks about basically how most of our lives we're just caught up in the past or in the future, but never really in the present. And he's an expert on that topic because he's also the author of the book that you probably heard about, which is called The Power of Now, which teaches all about basically what we call now mindfulness. But I would say that he's kind of the guru of that. He didn't invent it, but in his book, The Power of Now, it really teaches you to be in the now. And in this book, he goes to a bit deeper into exploring what the ego is. And according to him, the ego is really one thing that is at the root of all things that are going wrong in our world, in our lives, but also just in the world in general. And it's what is keeping us from being happy, truly happy. And what I love, and one of the things that he said in his book that stayed with me forever, is that he said, when you're talking to yourself, or when you say, I am talking to myself, who are you? Are you the person talking, or are you the person listening? I'd like to know what you think. The answer is in the book, but I'd like to know what you think. So when you're speaking to yourself, who is the real you? And which one is the ego? Is it the one listening or the one speaking? Leave your answer in the comments below. And I just love it because it made me think. I think I've never had as many ahas as when I read this book. Like the whole book, I was like, oh my God, I need to pause and repeat. I was like, preach, amen. Like this was like, wow, it blew my mind. And actually, the time I read this book, he was doing a live cast with Oprah. So Oprah had him on for weeks online, live, where he would go through each of the chapter of the book with the audience, with us, and explain, and you can send in your questions. And it was just truly amazing to do that together with him and Oprah and the rest of the people in the world, and just share what we thought. And I've enjoyed reading this book many times, and it's helped me moments where you just repeating the same things over again, and you kind of lost in your identity, you're kind of lost in who you are and the stories that you keep telling yourselves. And it talks also a lot about just personal ego, but also ego of like a whole generation and stuff like that. I really think this book is truly amazing. And one thing that also struck me that he talked about is that when he was a student in college, I think on the metro or subway or something, he saw a woman who was crazy to him. So she was speaking to herself out loud and screaming and whatever, having a conversation out loud. And he said to himself, oh wow, I don't want to end up like her. But the problem is, he said that out loud, and that's the moment he realized, oh my God, I am her. I am talking to myself. We all talk to ourselves. It's just that we don't say it out loud. So what's the difference between us and the other person? Because we don't even know who the real one is when we talk to ourselves, and she doesn't either. So that's when I think a shift of happened to him, and there was this shift of awareness, like, oh my God, we're all crazy in some way. Who am I to judge her? And I think this book is truly amazing if you just want to know more, about mindfulness and just about creating awareness in general about your life and about everything that's going on. Eckhart Tolle, this book, but any other book from Eckhart, and he has a lot of teachings online, I would definitely recommend. So I have lots of books to recommend, but I just wanted to do these three. If you have any books that have changed your life and you're like, oh my God, you need to read this, leave this in the comment. I will also leave the links to the books if you're interested to buy them, so you have the right name and everything. And I hope you enjoy this. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.